what these kids experience, it's like a war zone out there. The environment in general with crime and drugs and just violence, it's like all these kids are experiencing PTSD. This is the war zone. It's not like they're going somewhere to war and then coming back here and they feel like that. They're in the midst of it. They're living in it.
One thing we always say is that they call inner cities hoods and not neighborhoods because all the neighbors have moved out. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to start doing the work that we did, was to bring that love, that village, that family vibe back to our community.
Hey, everybody on your mats! You're doing a good job.
There's an elementary school right up the corner in our neighborhood, and we were like, well, hey, let's talk to the principal. The principal's like, sure, whatever you want. So we're like, give us a list of all the kids that you think are the problem kids, you know what I mean? So we took all those under our wing.
Inhale and backward bend.
After about the first 3 months, I started noticing a difference in the behavior. I said, well, it must really be something to this.
Kids get empowered by learning yoga and mindfulness. They see that they're in control of themselves, that no one else has to give them medication or yell at them and scream at them. When they feel and they're aware of anger rising or sadness rising, they can kind of address it, and you give them tools to deal with it, and they feel happy about that because they're in control.
All right, y'all, we get a lot of requests for this. Y'all like doing the tree, right?
Our children are suffering emotionally, physically, spiritually, and it has a direct impact on education.
Inhale deep. These kids have so much going on in their lives that it's no wonder that they don't excel in school. The neighborhood itself is just unbelievable, but you got the media and your peers and just society in general. It's overwhelming. And for us to just give them a few skills to show them, hey, you have your breath with you. You can regulate yourself. You can go inward and not have to worry about all this.
If you are stuck in your neighborhood, the things that you see people doing and the ways that you see people live, and you don't see anything else other than on TV, like you're just gonna see that as your reality. But if you get out of it and you see other things, you experience other things, everything becomes your reality.
All our senses are right there inside of us at that thumb-sized light. We're not focused on anything on the
One of the biggest parts of what we do, is beyond the actual techniques and the practices, is being present for the kids, being there for them all the time, like 100%, I'm here for you. I'm here and I'm gonna give you whatever I can.
Ali, Atman, and Andy, I've never seen 3 young men so dedicated to change their lives and empower young people.
Something we really focus on is the love aspect of things. Like that, I think, is one of the huge things for us, is the love and the compassion, the empathy that we have with our work and with the kids.
I know when we all sat down, this was back in college, you're like, man, there's been all these movements in the world, this movement and that movement. We're gonna do like a holistic movement. And that's what we're doing.
So often people ask us why we do what we do or why we decided to do this work. When you see 2 kids fighting together and you break them up, and the one you take with you, his little hands are clenched up and tears are trickling down his face, and you tell him, put your hand on your chest. And his heart is beating out of his chest, and you say, do the breathing. And it takes him a while because he's angry. But once he closes his mouth and starts doing that breathing, you can notice that he sees his heart slowing down, and his eyes kind of look at you, and they have that sparkle where he realizes that he's in control. He can regulate himself with just the breath. I think it's funny when I say just the breath, because our life starts with our first breath and it ends with our last, but for some reason we seem to take it for granted. We take over 20,000 breaths a day. When was the last time you paid attention to 10 of those? When was the last time you paid attention to 5 of those? right? We've been traveling around the world, and so often we see people breathing improperly. Our noses are made for breathing. The nose hairs act as a filter. The nasal passage is lined with a mucous membrane that warms it up. The glands that keep our eyes moist, they act as a humidifier. And when we're children, when we're little babies, we breathe properly. In and out of our noses. You see a baby inhale, its belly rises. Exhale, baby's belly falls. So what do? We keep breathing the wrong way. We get older, we start panting like we're animals. Or oftentimes I say, take a deep breath, and people do the Superman breath though. Right? Short and shallow breaths. And that really impacts your health because you can't cleanse your blood or digest properly because you're not bringing in the right amount of oxygen. And that's just our inhale. Our exhale is just as important because your exhale directly correlates to those ruminating thoughts that cause you to stress out. That's why evidence, you can see it when people are stressed and they get rid of that thought, they do that sigh, right? It's a... So the reason we emphasize this breath so much is because it's such a powerful tool because you carry it with you throughout your lives, all the time. We like to use a metaphor where your body's like a boat and the world is like an ocean. Oftentimes the waters are calm, still. You can imagine living in their neighborhood. Sometimes it's not like that with gunshots and helicopters and police sirens. So that water's rough and it's pushing them around. And what do? We tell them, use your breath, use that anchor to still yourself so you can be centered and aware in the present moment. Right now, we want to take you through that experience, so my friend Janasia is going to lead you through some breathing exercises.
Good morning, everybody. I know taking a deep breath sounds really basic, but I can't count how many times it helped me not smack somebody in the face. First off, I want to make sure everybody sit in the right position with their back, neck, and head aligned, feet flat on the ground. We invite you to close your eyes. Everybody raise their right hand and put it on their stomach. And inhale with me through your nose. Fill your stomach up with air like it's a balloon. Exhale through your nose. Squeeze your belly button to your spine and leave your hand where it is so it can create space between your stomach and your hand. Inhale through your nose. Fill your stomach up with air like it's a balloon. Exhale, squeeze your belly button to your spine. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze your belly button to your spine. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze your belly button to your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do one more deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now everybody keep your eyes closed and try to feel how your mind and your body feel. We're going to do an internal assessment, and when you're done, we're going to do an internal assessment, and an internal assessment is when you just take 3 deep breaths on your own and try to feel how your mind and your body feel after you're done. And when you're done, slowly blink your eyes. 3, 2, 1, begin. I bet you won't smack somebody today.
All right, as y'all can see, our motto is all about training the trainer. I remember the first time we went to our teacher's house and we asked him to teach us yoga. His response was, "Man, I ain't teaching no devotees, I'm teaching teachers." His philosophy behind that was if you teach students, then they'll be dependent on you. But if you teach teachers, you'll not only empower them, but you'll empower the people that are in their lives. If you come to our after-school program, you'll see little kids, pre-K kids, leading the exercises. With their high-pitched voice, leading the first breathing exercise. You'll hear them say, "Inhale in deep, exhale and out." Not only does the practice empower the kids, like I said, it also empowers their families. I remember when Janasia was a part of our after-school program a couple years ago, her mom came and picked her up and pulled me to the side and was like, "You know what, Atman, I had a really rough day at work, and I guess the stress was written all over my face." And Janasia saw me walk through the door and said, "Ma, you look stressed out. Come sit on the couch next to me and let me teach you a breathing exercise. It'll make you feel better." And she looked me in my eyes and, genuinely said, "Atman, you all are really teaching our kids some good stuff. I felt so much better afterwards." Another story that pops in my mind is there was a little girl in our program last year, and it was always a challenge to get her engaged in the practice. And near the end of the year, she just wasn't practicing at all. And luckily she lived in the neighborhood, and I ran into her grandmother and I asked her, I was like, "Is there anything that you can say to her to get her more engaged in the practice? Because I really don't think she's getting anything out of the time that we're spending with her." And then she looks at me with a puzzled look, and she said, "Well, that's funny because, the other day I came into the house and my stomach was upset. She sat me on the couch and we did this one breathing exercise for a couple minutes, and, I felt great afterwards." So that's like a lesson within itself right there. Don't really attach yourself to the results. Just do the work to the best of your ability, and you never know what fruits will bloom from the seeds that you planted. And not only does the practice leak into the families, but it leaks back into our neighborhood. When we first graduated from college, it kind of broke our heart to see our neighborhood. It was like a shell within itself. It was like the Wild Wild West for real. It was like a lot of boarded up houses, open air drug markets, lots of gangs on every corner. And, through the 12 years of work, spreading love, and creating teachers, the dynamics of our neighborhood has changed. People call us the yoga dudes. So whenever we walk around our neighborhood, some of our neighbors will ask us, a variety of questions from "Hey, yoga dude, can yoga help me stop smoking these cigarettes?" Well, in Baltimore, we call them fugs. Or, people will ask us "What's the first step in meditation?" So really, we're actually seeing that the way to change the community is creating teachers.
So we found out that one of the first barriers that you're going to face when you're trying to change a community is language. We found out the hard way when we first started working with the kids that lived directly in our neighborhood. It's a hot summer day. Atman, Andy, and I are all sitting out on the porch with the kids we were working with at the time. And I guess my filter was off. I wasn't really paying attention, but somewhere during the conversation, a 4-letter word slipped out. And I didn't really realize it until the kids looked at me in horror. Some of them gasped, some of them said, "Ooh," some of them laughed. And one of them looked me dead in my eyes with a serious look on his face. And he was like, "Man, Ali, you just can't say that." So I was about to apologize, but then I caught myself. And in that moment, I had a realization that, dropping the F-bomb around a bunch of 6 to 10-year-olds wasn't really that big a deal. No, I'm just joking. The word I said, I'm just joking. The word I said offended them way more than any curse word that they had ever heard. The 4-letter word I used, L-O-V-E, love. And from that moment on, we realized that one of our major goals at the Holistic Life Foundation was going to be to embody love, to spread love, and just make it okay for people to say "I love you" to each other. So we started to do this, and then we realized that love was the most powerful force in the universe. Love gives from itself and doesn't ask for anything in return. And love is just, it's there all the time. People give love, people receive love, and it's something that's very, very powerful and strong. First step in love is learning to love yourself. Most people don't even like themselves, so when you ask them to love themselves, they don't even know where to begin. They focus on the shortcomings, they focus on their faults, when the first part of love is accepting everything about yourself, the good and the bad. In reality, we're all divine beings. We all have that spark that shines inside of us, but for some reason we ignore it. But we want people to focus on that perfection that shines in each and every one of us. When trying to change communities, one of the first things we work on is creating love zombies. Andy made up that term, love zombies. So what we do is we try to embody love, we try to spread love, we try to show love, and we try to get people to awaken that love inside of themselves. And then once they awaken inside of themselves, we want to get them to spread it. So we get them to try to spread love to everyone they come across, everyone they see. When they do something, come from a place of love. When they say something loving. And even when they're thinking something about somebody, really work on sending out positive love to everyone that you think about in your thoughts as well. And then we figured that the three of us spreading love, we can make some change, but if an entire community is doing it and people are doing it for everyone around them, that's how you really change a community.
Now we are going to put some of that love in action. I welcome everyone to close their eyes. And I'll make sure, and I want you to make sure that y'all back, neck, and head is aligned with y'all feet flat on the ground. And now I want you all to start seeing a bright white light in your heart center. Start really focusing on that light. And I want you all to say, I love you to yourself on 3. 1, 2, 3. I love you. Now, I want you all to open your eyes slowly. And I welcome you all to turn to your neighbor. All right, settle down. All right. Now, I want you all to start saying that same light that you saw in yourself, but now I want you to start saying it in your neighbor. And I want you all to say, I love you to your neighbor on 3. And say it like you mean it. 1, 2, 3. I love you. All right, one more. Now, I welcome you all to stand up. Oh. And I want you all to turn the way where you can see everyone in the room, mostly everyone. And I want you all to now start saying that same light that you saw in yourself, but now I want you to say it in everyone else in the room. And now I want you all to tell them that you love them on 3, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. I love you. Thank you all.